very warm welcome to all the panelists and the incredible women leaders I have with me today who have set a new benchmark of success in their respective industries. And the topic we are discussing today is key mantra for women leaders in balancing work and life. And I think it's a topic that we all resonates with. So starting with the discussion, like when we talk about a healthy and balanced life, like work and life balance is considered a priority of many individuals. So my question is like, what does a satisfying work and life balance mean for a woman leader? Let's start with Ms. Surbhi.
All right, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak. I feel that achieving work-life balance, it requires, first of all, intention and also effort. So it's about finding the right mix that, works for all of us, and that, acknowledging that it's okay to, recalibrate as it is required at times. So by incorporating these principles into our lives, I feel that, we can foster a sense of balance that contributes to our overall well-being and success and holistic development. So what is satisfying for me is that for as a woman leader, balancing work and life, is crucial for my holistic well-being. And it means not only, excelling in professional roles, but also in personal roles. And also as simultaneously nurturing, physical, mental, and emotional health. So this holistic approach is essential for my sustained access and, fulfillment. Thank you.
Great advice, Ms. Surbhi. So moving to Ms. Bhawna, like there's a statement I want to convey before moving forward to next question. Like doing your work is a good thing, but if all you do is your job, like it's not healthy, basically. So why do you think work-life balance is important for a woman growth?
Hello. Thank you for that, and lovely being here with two people I worked with and few new people. So, this question is not only for women.
Yeah.
It's a question for everyone.
Yes, definitely.
And if you keep doing one thing, boredom, saturation, and slackness will come in. Recharging is very important. Phone ko bhi recharge karte hain. So yeah, rejuvenate is important. And also when you switch off from one task, do another one, come back, there's a invigorating spirit inside. You feel much active, much involved. So I feel work-life balance, the word balance is important.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter it's work or life. Because as mothers, as wives, women without kids also, they also have a life out of work.
Yes.
So it's, balance is the key here. Balance is the mantra. It's yin and yang everywhere.
Yeah, definitely.
So to recharge, to come back with the new vigor and mojo, it's very important to keep that balance and switch on and off between what you do. Only then you'll succeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like moving forward to Ms. Jyotsna, my question is, as she said, that we need to refresh ourselves time to time, but sometimes like in corporate world, there comes a time when we have so many commitments, and like saying no is the only way to get out of that situation. So do you think saying no to work creates a lot of problem so many times, and we can't just directly say that we can't do this job, we have a personal commitment. So do you think that other than saying no, there is any other key mantra women should follow to balance work and life?
See, saying a no, it's not only at work, it's in every phase of life, and it is for everybody. I think that's the most important thing one needs to learn, is to understand when to say no, what to accept and what not to accept. And like Bhavna has rightly mentioned, that's the only way you can balance. And balance can happen, or when you say no, it's not only at work, it's also at home. I mean, it's about saying that this is as much as I can do, and you should know how to prioritize. I mean, and I also believe while you might say that there's a lot that you're doing, there's so much on my plate, etc. But prioritizing is one way of looking at it, but scheduling that priority is also equally important. So while it might motivate you, sometimes perfection can lead to, demoralizing you also.
Yes.
So it's important to know where you need to set your boundaries and then work accordingly, be it at work or be it, at home. In fact, I remember while servicing one of the airline brands, at 12:30 in the night, I had a call. Now, the moment you receive a call at 12:30, if you have aging parents and grandparents, you have the worst thought. So immediately you take the call. The moment you take the call and you realize that it is okay, there's a crisis, or there was a bomb scare on one of the flights. So you need to get into action, and the family also, because you're a working woman, the family also understands. The only way you need to draw your boundary is that, while everybody is sleeping, probably you move out of the room and go into a space where nobody else is disturbed, and you see how you work around that. But I think with women working and women trying to balance, and men also trying to balance and understand this entire ecosystem, I think it's an understanding that helps you draw your boundaries and to also say no at the right time, be it at work or at home.
Okay. So it's an open question. So I would like to ask, like, any of you want to share any instance when you have said no at work and get out of that unnecessary commitment?
See, like Jyotsna said, I'm adding to that also, it's the boundaries, right? Yeah. Ruthless prioritizing is very, very important. And it's important because if you don't prioritize, it's a dump on you, right? You have to do everything. So teamwork, communication, delegating, everything is important, everything works. I mean, there have been instances where, and to come to your question, where I had to say a no, because there was another commitment or holiday planned, etc. And it's been very well accepted at the workplace. Because once you have a holiday plan or when you have another commitment, the organization respects that because it's planned, right?
Sometimes they doesn't.
Yeah, it's planned, and even if some crisis hits you when you are not there,
Yeah.
because you've planned it so well with your team, with your supervisors, with your managers, with the head of the organization, that the ball will not drop. So saying no becomes easier because there's always a plan B.
Okay.
So for me, I think I've never said no and cringed and felt guilty. Because the organization encourages that, respects that, really respects your boundaries, and your communication and delegation with your team makes it work. So I think I'm personally, in my 20-odd years of experience, I've never had instances where I felt guilty of saying no and then going on a holiday and also kept thinking about work.
Okay.
It's been, for me, it's never been that. I've been lucky to work in organization with managers who respected that. Yeah.
I think to add on to what she said, it's, at one side, it's very crucial to set your priorities, what is, most important, what tasks are important, and what are urgent tasks.
Yes.
So you cannot and maybe should not say no to urgent tasks, but you, at the same time, you should be able to judge if, you can say a no there and this work can be done tomorrow, if it is important. How important that is, that matters.
Yes, definitely. I think we should prioritize the important task and leave the rest of that.
The most important thing for us is time management. And apart from time management, you should know how you need to strategize and understand where you want to draw your boundaries and set your goals accordingly. And goals are all, while they have to match with the organizational goals, but you also have your personal goals. So an effective work-life balance is when I can manage my work within the time slot that I have at work, and at the same time manage family, children, parents, friends, and if I can do all of that at the same time, that's the only way I can balance my life.
So in this respect, basically, like if we like go back a few years back, we don't have the remote work culture in the industry. So the lines were very clear between the professional and personal life. But as now we have entered the remote work era, I think the lines have somehow blurred. So do you think this advancement has caused like disbalance between the equilibrium of personal and like professional life?
So I'll take that probably, you know. When we were working at home, as a regular schedule, I would still follow the same working hours and the way, I mean, wake up in the morning, get ready, and just as I would go to work, I would sit down at my workstation and do the work. And that really helped. So I would log in at the time I'm supposed to log in. But I must say that yes, logging out was very, very tough because clients who would earlier call you and say, hey, I'm sorry to disturb you at this odd hour, would call up at 8:30, 9:30, taking it as if, you know, you are still working. But it's about how you draw your line and say that, okay, can we address this tomorrow, or is there a priority that we need to? But I must also say that agency lives are very, very different. And most agencies are still grappling with, you know, trying to set that deadline of, you know, when you want to say a no to the client. But I think clients gradually seem to understand, because at the end of the day, internally also they follow a certain schedule. So everybody would want to, you know, log off at 6 o'clock when you're scheduled to log off. So why not?
And I think that, you know, effective boundaries, you know, they are another key element because, you know, you have to clearly define when your work is, you know, work day is beginning and when it is ending. Because if you have a temptation to look at your emails even at 12:30 in the night sometimes, so your work will never finish. So you have to prioritize your family time, your work time, your, you know, time for loved ones. But you have to, you know, actually draw a distinct line. Sometimes it becomes very problematic if we are working remotely, but you have to set your boundaries, set your priorities, and even a well-structured schedule. That is also fundamental. You have to draw a plan, you know, with designated slots for work, for family, for, you know, personal activities also. Because if you are a corporate woman or a woman leader, you also need to be, you know, well.
A to-do list is a must.
To-do list is a must. And
as you tick off the list, it helps.
And your, I would say, your daily routine, it will foster, you know, a sense of order and a control, and it will reduce the chaos that can often, you know, accompany the balancing act. And if you are learning to say no, that is also a skill, you know, because you have to recognize your limitations and you have to understand, you know, that it's okay to decline some additional tasks and responsibilities, but there's always a way to say no. There, I think effective communication takes a major role. How you are communicating a no, that also matters, because, you know, a blunt no and, you know, saying a no with a...
As long as, you know, you're committed to your work and it doesn't become a habit, I think it's fine.
And your credibility also matters. When the other person thinks that you are an honest, sincere person and a credible person, you are doing your job honestly, and then if you say no, people will accept it. If you're not doing your job properly and then you are saying no, people will not accept it.
I mean, just to add to what both of them said and to your question, see, remote working has helped people who can equally balance home and work.
It has given a flexibility.
It has given a flexibility, and it works in a lot of cases. And because we've now gone out of the COVID era, some people are finding it a little difficult because we're back to work 3 days a week or 4 days a week. But it's all each on its own, because for some mothers, some fathers, you know, some newly married people or some kids who are not yet out of that mindset, it works. And it works for the managers as well. As long as his work is getting done, there's no slackness, accountability is there, I think it doesn't matter.
But sometimes some organization force their employees to work in some like very tough circumstances as well.
See,
so
see, I don't think organizations force people to work. Yes, the agency life and the corporate life is different.
Yes.
There is a lot of pressure from the client work, and there are sometimes 24/7, sometimes weekends, there's no weekends. But again, as we in the beginning said, it's all the boundaries. it's all accountability, it's all how you plan with your team, the kind of workload. And when is the right time to say no, and when is the right time to say, okay, I'll take the load, you take a break,
Yes.
and then accordingly we'll circulate around.
And
I think
also
that's
you,
more
you
important.
need to have faith in your team, and you can delegate some tasks to them who, will perform in your absence. Yeah.
So like you said, Miss Surbhi, that saying no is a skill. So my question is, how can women develop that skill? Because it's not easy to just say no, and there are so many factors that influence that behavior in women. So how can women?
So I just said, and I'm repeating my words, that effective communication is very, very important, and you should be, open with your colleagues, with your employer, with your family about your boundaries and about your expectations. And this transparency also builds, a sort of understanding and a sort of support system. And they will foster, it will foster a positive environment both at work and at place. And I feel that it's also essential to evaluate and adjust, regularly. Adaptability is very important, and you should access your work-life balance, and, you should be willing to make necessary changes also. So you have to be flexible, you have to be adaptable, and flexibility is also, a value asset in this journey. And it should allow you to adapt to the evolving demands of work and personal life. So if you are more credible, if people are seeing you're honest at work, you're credible at work, and then if you genuinely say a no, people are going to understand, and that's how you communicate, effectively. So it's not always a blunt no, but
it's all about being honest
yeah.
with your.
Yeah, I think it's all about, are you part of the problem or the solution? So no sometimes becomes the problem.
Yes, definitely.
So if it's a no, then do you have a plan B? Are you offering a solution to your team, to your manager, to your organization? And if you come with that mindset, then I don't think anybody has an issue. And again, because that no comes from a place where something is more important to you than currently the job.
Yes.
Then I'm sure if you're, we're in a business of communication. So I think communication is the key. Talk it out with your managers, with your team. Make them understand why you're prioritizing your personal life more than the work right now. Delegate work, set a format where the client doesn't suffer, the team doesn't suffer. I think it's all planning and communication and, offering a solution to why that no is coming. And I think it's not only women, men also have to say no a number of times. And again, it comes with a solution.
Yeah.
So I don't think women have a more difficult time saying a no unless you are, pardon my language, you're talking to somebody who will to immediately associate that no with, oh, because she's a woman, that no comes with a baggage saying, excuse le rahi hogi, ghar mein zarur kuch kaam hoga.
Yes.
I think in the corporate world, we do face people like that, and fortunately there are animals like that. We have to live with that, but it's all about communication.
It's also, I think we have to get out of the stereotyping is what we were discussing. They were discussing in the earlier session.
Yes.
The stereotyping has to stop because at the end of the day, it's the same for everybody. I mean, everybody is trying to balance work, whether it is a guy or it is a girl. And while I must say that, we should have probably had more men on this panel, though it is a Women Achievers Day, etc. But that's the only way you can balance it out. And Anindita asked a very valid question to Siddharth when he said, do you cook? And if you do you do it only for yourself or for everybody? Because see, if I'm going back at 10 o'clock or I'm reaching home at 10 in the night, and my husband has reached at say 6 o'clock in the evening, he obviously assumes that, I'll be very, very tired and I'm driving some 50 kilometers every day. So he will get stuff ready. He'll say, okay, how far are you? Should we start heating the food? Stuff like that. And I think children also, the next generation learns how to manage because they see working parents. So if they're hungry, they'll come down, they know food is there, they'll heat the food, they'll eat what they want to eat, and it's done with. So things have changed. The earlier generation, probably my parents didn't. My father would wait for my mother to get back and heat the food and serve the food, but it's not the same in our generation any longer. So I think it's all about getting that balance in place.
Great advice, Ms. Jyotsna. So moving forward, like presently, if I specifically talk about the PR and communication industry, like more than 75% of individual are women, but still only 30% of women lead any PR agency or are like on the senior positions. So do you think the disbalance of work life is affecting their growth?
I don't think it's a disbalance of work life. I think it's more to do with their own zest and vigor to move forward, right? There's nothing that's stopping them. I mean, I work in an organization and most of the leaders are women, right? And there's never a question, ki, give it to a man because he's more capable of doing, give it to him. I think it's all up to us. Yes? I'm not talking about the corporate world as such, but we are breaking the ceiling. We are moving forward.
Yes.
If is anything which stops is only us, because we still have that mindset, how will I manage if I co-sit in that position, right? I was watching Ritika Gupta, Edelweiss MD's podcast, and there's a very beautiful thing she said. She said, when I got pregnant, there was not one single discussion with my boss on how I'm going to manage, how many leaves do I want, what will be my work and life balance. We never had that discussion. It was taken that she will manage, she will come back when she wants to. So she said, I was surprised that my boss never had sat me down and had a discussion with me. So there are mature men like that in our corporate world, and it's all up to us. I don't think anything can stop us. Men cannot stop us. So let's not blame them. It's all up to us. Again, balance, again, alignment, and our mindset that we can do it.
Yeah, and I think that, women leaders who are, effectively balancing work and life, they become powerful role models also for others. And, especially the aspiring female professionals who are into PR and Corpcom industry and other industries also, so they're demonstrating that success in leadership is very important, because that doesn't have to, come at the expense of personal well-being. It encourages more women to pursue leadership roles. And I don't think that, only the stereotyping that women cannot reach higher ups is correct, because we have so many role models with us. You see Shobna Bharti, who is heading and leading Hindustan Times, one of the biggest examples that I can quote here from media industry. So there are people, there are women who are, achievers, and for us also they are role models, and we also wish that, somebody looks up to us. Sometimes my girl students, like day before yesterday, only one of the students came to me and she said, ma'am, I just really want to hug you because you are so bold. I mean, from so the students sitting here, I don't know she's here or not, but when she told me that you are my role model and I want to actually look up to you for the work-life balance, I was happy that at least I am encouraging some. Yes. And I also, at the beginning of my career, I used to see who are the women leaders whom I look up to. So it is very important that we have some role models in the leadership position.
Yeah,
and
it's very important to have mentors who set a very good example of work-life balance.
yeah,
I think the most important thing is to stop procrastination. I think that's what we as women should, we should just stop that and understand that this is how much we can do and what we can't do, and there is no guilt feeling in that. I think that's where it lies. You keep, providing children with toffees and some gifts because you feel that, you have that guilt that you didn't spend enough time. But all of that doesn't really help in the long run. There is how much that you can do and you will do. There's no way. Has anybody read any books of Koral Das Gupta? Okay, so I would recommend, if you can manage to read Ahalya, where she's made a brilliant depiction of what the mother is. The father is basically the provider, the mother is the protector. Whatever happens, the mother is definitely going to protect. So that is an instinct we are born with. And the man, whatever he is, however he manages his schedule, is the provider. So we are probably built like that and we can take on a lot more. They probably cannot take on, but we need to get out of this mode of, you know, men, women, stereotyping, procrastination. We are working and we all understand our limitations and boundaries that are there.
And of course, I agree with you that we should not, compare ourselves with other, and there's no competition. If you have to compete with somebody, you compete with yourself. What you have done earlier and how better you can perform next time. Yeah.
So yeah, great insights on this. And moving forward, like talking about the future generation of employees, they will be Gen Zs and millennials, and they are very particular about their work-life balance. Like they are ready to give up like incentive, bonuses, or any other advantages just to have that work-life balance.
Which
in
is
their
very good.
career.
We
Yeah.
must encourage.
Yeah.
We must encourage. I mean, I actually see kids, they can quit jobs because it doesn't give them the kind of work-life balance they want. And everybody's work-life balance differs from the other. It's very relative to an individual, so it's okay, you should respect it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But the question is like, I want you to share some insights like how they can develop a good work-life balance while also managing their work commitments.
So I think that their goals and their objectives, what they want to do in life, their vision, their mission is very important. So, some kids are confused what they want to do in life, but some kids are, really, really sharp and they know what they want to do in life. So first of all, they should set their goals, what they want to do in life. There should be absolute clarity about it. Second is that they should be able to prioritize what they, want to do first. So that is important. And if you know what you are doing and if you're moving in the right direction, then there are no full stops.
I think I agree with what my co-panelists have said, but see, Gen Zs, they live paycheck to paycheck,
Yes.
right? And I'm not glorifying that they're on the right path, because in the end, accountability matters a lot. In any organization you go, the organization has to trust you, they invest in you, so it is a two-way door.
It's a
Yeah, it's a two-way door. You get bored one day, you leave the organization, then you go to another organization because the money is good. And, in the long run, it will not help you. So when you talk about work-life balance, I personally believe it's not the organization which gives you work-life balance. You have to plan that, right? It's not the organization job. For example, in our organization, we encourage everyone to take their holidays. It's a given. But again, it's not Gen Z or a senior person or a mid-level person. Gen Zs, yes, they have this, they are more pressurized and, more motivated, more inspired, wrongly or rightly by their peer groups, etc. But work-life balance is you take your leaves, weekends we don't bother you, you want to go to your hometown when you want to during the holidays, please go. If there's work from home, do the work from home. If it's a requirement to come to work and to go for meetings, etc., that's communicated. Yes. So I think work-life balance is something which is discussed, planned, and enjoyed by everyone. It's not that one team works hard and the other team doesn't, because the other one who's enjoying most has Gen Zs, because they only want holidays, they want to work a couple of hours. And I think this is a very wrong precedent they were setting and also glorifying it, because in the end, it's accountability and trust. Yes. And if I can't trust my team member, organization can't trust because wo kabhi bhi chale jayega chhodkar because they are bored or they're getting more money, then I think that's not a right thing to do. And we as seniors are not either understanding that or working towards it. What will work? There's a balance. We need to think on it, and not blame the Gen Zs always that, they are like that. Because we have Gen Zs in our organization.
Yes.
And believe you me, they are the rising stars of our place. Because they understand accountability and work requirement, and they go for holidays and have fun.
Yes.
So I think it's again the balance and to understand them.
They create a good example of work-life balance.
Because they know how to take holidays.
Yes.
We seniors might feel a bit guilty, but Gen Zs know how to take holidays.
And our generation actually did what was wrong. And I think we must admit that.
And I think they work hard and party harder.
Yeah, which is the right attitude towards life.
I must offer my sincerest apologies for interjecting, but Miss Anshu Khanna is here joining the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the lady with a big round of applause.
For Anshu only. I think we've done our talking and now it's all hers.
So you have to tell me what you all are talking about.
It's all about work-life balance, and we want to hear from you what have been the key learnings, what is the takeaway for the next generation, next employees, employers, everybody.
Hi, I'm Anshu Khanna. I'll start by saying I'm a mother of 3 kids. And of course, my eldest is now 33. And it's been an uphill task. So if you're talking about work-life balance, I was the bureau chief of Society magazine in '93. And I remember putting my child to a bath and then cooking her food and asking myself, did I have this child for the nanny or for myself? And I put in my papers without telling anyone in the house. And I told my family at dinner saying, I've quit. So it's very tough. We can fool ourselves. Children don't grow up on their own. And to run a business, to bring up kids, have them do well is not easy. And the sooner the men recognize that, the better for all of us, especially them, because otherwise there's a lot of confusions in the house. But yes, I think there has been no work-life balance because work has taken over for all of us. And we are achiever people, so we do somehow neglect a lot of things that we'd like to do. And personally, I think we neglect ourselves the most because that's the last priority. Yes, self-care is really badly neglected. And I think anyone who's made it big is not just a very understanding husband, but a very understanding family, because without that, it's not going to happen. And what do I tell the young lot here? The young lot...
Just add, people say that behind every successful man, there is a woman. Behind every successful woman, there is a family. Unless you have a very supportive family, it's very difficult. And I must add to what she said is that when I was working, not only did I have an excellent family support system, I also had excellent employers. I mean, my bosses were excellent. The first organization when I was expecting, they didn't even have anybody who had a child while, the organization was there. It was part of the low group. They'd never had a woman getting pregnant, having a baby. They didn't have a policy which was a, what do you call this? Maternity leave, etc. So we had a maternity leave policy introduced because I was going to have a baby. Then the second place was where I had my child, the second child, and I could get the child to work.
Yeah. So,
unless you have an accommodating, support system, it's very tough.
So I must interject here, sorry, but I run a small PR company and it's mostly women-led. So I remember when they increased the maternity leave to 6 months, I did that immediately, and I also allowed anyone who had children to bring their nanny and the child into work and allocated a room for them, because it's important that everybody understands integration is very important.
I think empathy here plays a major role, because if you are a woman leader and you can actually understand what a woman goes through when she has to manage work, children, and so many things at one time. I remember that I had my second child, and he was just 2 months, and I was also doing my PhD. My husband was also doing a PhD. So at a time, there were 3 PhDs, that we were doing in our home. So empathy is very important, as you said, that you are a woman leader and you understand the problems of other women, and you let them get their nannies along. But how many organizations do we have in India who are actually supporting, from office? Very few, I would say. But in comparison, if you see some other countries, they have a better support system at work also. which I think we'll also develop as the new gen, demands for the same.
If they want great leaders, women to be part of their leadership board and sit across the table, they will have to be conscious of the fact that there's a family they are managing also. So I think organizations are conscious.
So I'm seeing this room is full of young people. So I don't even know what to say to the Gen Next because everything has changed so much, especially post-COVID. I mean, I know that there is a thing called mental health leave. And I know children who say, I'm burning out every third week and saying that I want to go for a holiday. And so old foggies like us are also changing the way we work. So I think we'll have to rejig the act a lot faster now when it comes to work
In
life.
fact, that's what I was saying. I said, we've probably spoiled the system. And if they say that they need a break and if they feel that they are having a burnout, and they actually know how to manage their work as well as life, we should encourage. There's nothing
And of
wrong in
course,
it.
as she also said, that we should prioritize self-care because that's important. And personal time is also important because that will make you more focused, more resilient, and more. You will go to more innovations. You will have, and this is a rejuvenating thing that brings more power to you.
So I think it's a great discussion, and we are very, I'll say that we are very proud and to have a women leaders like you who are bringing such like revolution in the way organization balance work and life for the employees.